The Great Debate: Two-Stroke versus Four. The battle for supremacy between two-stroke and four-stroke quads is likely to rage on forever, except for outside factors that may end this age-old debate. It is very likely that upcoming legislation could end production of two-stroke engines, making it impossible to get a new two-stroke quad. So if you've ever considered getting a two-stroke quad, the clock is ticking. Mechanically, the difference between a two-stroke and four-stroke lies in how often the spark plugs fire. In a two-stroke, it fires once with every revolution of the cam, while a four-stroke only fires the plugs every other revolution of the cam. With everything being equal, a two-stroke will have twice as many combustions as a four-stroke, which causes it to produce much more energy with the same size engine. Because oil is put in the combustion chamber, two-stroke engines smoke a lot, which is the reason for the imminent ban on them. One side effect of the impressive power the two-stroke engines produce is that the top end of the engine must be rebuilt somewhat frequently, depending on how hard the engine is pushed. Although the rebuild is not terribly expensive, it must be done periodically to avoid rebuilding the entire engine. For many riders, the constant maintenance is worth the performance they get out of their two-stroke engine, but the accessibility of this power may be prohibitive for some riders, riding styles, and terrain. In order to tap into the power of a two-stroke engine, you have to keep the throttle close to wide open to stay in the power band. Explosive power makes two-strokes the engine of choice for many racers, especially in racing disciplines that require frequent jumps and quick acceleration out of turns, such as motocross. As far as typically maintenance, most four-stroke quads require relatively little attention. Spark plugs and oil changes are always necessary, but you do not need to rebuild the engine on a regular basis. However, many riders complain of the high cost of rebuilding four-stroke engines when necessary, but a four-stroke engine should hold up longer than a two-stroke if it is rode properly. If you keep a four-stroke high in the RPM range all the time, you are asking for trouble. Because a four-stroke has power on the low end, it has a much easier time freeing itself from deep mud, while a two-stroke is usually doomed if it comes to a stop in mud. Four-strokes, in many cases, have a higher top speed than two-strokes, but will take much longer to get to their top speed. Four-strokes have improved a lot over the years, with some many dominant racing quads being propelled by four-stroke engines. However, the Honda 250R, a classic two-stroke quad, is still taking podium spots over 10 years after it began production. For the most part, two-stroke engines are better suited for light sport quads, and four-strokes, which produce most of their power on the low end, are more suited for heavier quads made for mud, rocks, and work applications.